Hello everyone and welcome to another video of the guide series. Today's guide is going to be about Suyou, who is an assassin that got introduced this season. However, before we get into the video, I have an announcement to make. The new season is going to introduce a new hero Lucas, revamped Argus, and revamped Hanzo, to which I'm going to make a guide for as soon as the season starts, so like and subscribe to get notified once I release the videos for each of them. And as an extra comment, which hero you would like a guide for first among them. Now, without further ado, let's get right into it. Passive. Transient Immortal. Suyou has two forms, being his mortal and immortal forms, each with their own specialty. Mortal form. Once a skill is tapped, Suyou enters his mortal form and gains 40 movement speed and 25% attack speed in this form. Immortal form. Once a skill is held, Suyou enters his immortal form, gaining 25% basic attack damage and 20% damage reduction. This form has another mechanic, gaining 1% extra defense per 20 points of his physical attack, capped at 40%. First skill, Blade Surge. If tapped, Suyou throws his weapon in the target direction, dealing damage, blinks to the weapon and slashing in the opposite direction, dealing more damage. If held, Suyou dashes in the target direction, and once he makes contact with an enemy, he deals damage and stuns enemies in front for a short while. Not to mention that the more the skill is held, the further he dashes. Second skill, Soul Sever. If tapped, Suyou does a sweeping attack in a fan-shaped area in front of him, dealing damage to enemies. This skill's damage also scales with 20% of target's lost health. So the lower the enemy's health, the more damage this skill does. If held, Suyou does 3 cleaving slashes in a fan-shaped area, dealing damage. Third skill, Evil Queller. If tapped, Suyou jumps backwards while swinging his weapon, dealing damage to enemies in front and also slowing them down by 30% for 1.5 seconds. If held, Suyou charges an arrow, then shoots it in the target direction, dealing damage to enemies in its path. And the more the skill is charged, the further its range is. Build. Suyou can be built in a hybrid way, but I believe building him full damage is the way to go using this build below, since you gain free defense points in your immortal form. Emblem. Your main emblem is going to be the Assassin emblem, however the Fighter emblem is still a viable choice for healing and sustain. As for secondary emblems, you want Thrill, Seasoned Hunter, and Killing Spree. Battle Spell. Your main battle spell would be Retribution for jungling. However, if you decide to go as an explainer, then Vengeance is your way to go. Combos. For Suyou, I only have one fast combo in his mortal form, being the following one. However, I suggest you only use this combo on squishy or low health enemies, otherwise just stay in your immortal form for sustain against tanky enemies. Tips. You can tap your third skill if you're being followed to slow the enemies behind and increasing the distance between you and them. Don't be afraid of using your third skill for poke, since it has a low cooldown. If in a team fight, try to remain in your immortal form so you don't get shut down quickly by the enemy team. Counter tip. Since a Suyou player would mostly remain in his immortal form, building a penetration item like Malefic Gun or Malefic Roar is a good counter against him. That will be all for Suyou. If you found this guide helpful, please like and subscribe to spread the word about my channel and its content. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.